Hi, my name's Roddy Turner. I'm from Aurora, and I've been a member of the WCYR since 2020 and writing speculative fiction for a lot longer than that, quite a while. I'm pleased to have the opportunity today to share some of my work with you. I have a passion for creative work, including writing, but also I'm involved in game design, audio and video mixing, and a number of different integrative creative projects. I've produced 3 complete audio plays, which are available online. A 4th is in progress. Access to them is available through my webpage or on my YouTube channel, which is AM1700 WRAT. You'll hear more about that later. I've designed over 200 games. I'm currently working on taking some of the simpler ones and compiling them into a book of game rules right now. I have over 50 of my short stories available in book form online and 22 of them on the Aphelion webzine, which is a webzine for short stories, primarily science fiction and fantasy. I now have 4 novels available online on my Amazon page and 1 novella on the Inkitt platform. My 5th novel is in final production, and I've just completed a 6th, which is now in the review stage. My background image today shows some of the sketches of characters from my published works. Today, I'm going to be reading an excerpt from one of my short stories, as well as playing a small clip from one of my audio plays. The short story was written in 2017, and it is included in my next short story compilation, Volume 5 of the Gem Collection, which will be released on Amazon at the end of October. The story is called Good Day. It's a good morning so far, and on pace to be one of my best ever. Ditching the would-be boyfriend on the public sites. World knows, and there's no going back. Kevin is sick, and I'm the sub for his class. What I've been waiting for these past 3 months. And then the message from the Institute. My design shortlisted. Decision in a week. A bright, sunny day and smiling faces all around. Somehow everyone just seems to feel it. Adds that extra spring to my step. Slam! The impact nearly knocked me off my feet, only 10 meters away and just too close. Sound of rending metal, tortured steel, screeching, thumping, shards of the frame flying upwards and outwards, ripping through walls and plexiglass, anything in their path. Dropping low, chunk of bumper grazing my shoulder as it whistles over me, embedding itself in the doorframe of the Café Soleil behind me. And screams, panic, terror, and pain. Fear, horror. Flames burst out, licking up the front of the van's hood, what's left of it, flowing in flickering orange along the impact edge of the bus. It's one of my best features, and it doesn't let me down. Most of those around me, those who are uninjured and mobile, run as fast as they can away from the danger, putting as much distance between them and the threat as possible. Survival instinct, first evolutionary requirement. My overriding instinct, though, part mutation and part death wish, is to help. Since I was a child, able to see inside my body and interpret, adjust, adapt. Recently, with others as well. What's wrong and how to make it right. Reckless, maybe stupid, but I can't stay away. Moving towards the danger, flames now taking hold in the van, the one that ran the light. People inside the bus freaking big time, desperate. The driver taking charge as I run forward, cracks an emergency window, others taking the hint, passengers piling out onto the street, sight away from the impact, fleeing. Some onlookers, the evolutionary misfits, standing at what they deem a safe distance, mesmerized. Why their kind will be evolved out eventually. I gesture them back as I rush in, yank open the rear door of the van, woman in the driver's seat dead on impact, crushed against the wall of the bus. But in the back, child seat secure, perhaps 4 years old, head impact from a chunk of debris, unconscious, blood flowing freely across his face. My heart falters for an instant. Then I'm inside, releasing him from the seat, hauling him out and away. A bank on the corner, walls still mostly intact, a great shield against the explosion that will surely come. I carry the boy through the shattered doors, in behind the teller's desks, and the whole time, hands on his bare skin, I'm sensing, checking, attuning myself. Dangerous blood loss, major concussion, spinal cord damaged in the neck. I know someone by this time will have called, but the boy cannot wait for EMS. Set head position to minimize stress on the spine. Blood flow first, basic physiology. I stem the flow as best as I can with a strip off my shirt, searching, finding the damage internally, the vessels compressed and ruptured by a skull fracture. Reshape the skull as close as I can, then the vessels stitched together underneath. Accelerate the assimilation of excess blood under the bone, release the pressure, initiate the renewal of brain tissue. Cervical vertebrae snapped in 3 places, but the head alignment is good. So I reform the vertebrae around the spinal cord, check for integrity, begin reknitting the cord, instruct all the bones in the undamaged part of the body to pump out blood, draw on his stored fat tissue for additional healing. Take a deep breath. It's been 30 seconds since I entered the bank. He'll be weak, short of fluids, but he'll live. There's no time to waste. The explosion will be soon. I push past 2 bank tellers who have been craning their necks watching me, sprint back out on the scene, swing wide to the far side of the bus, leap up through the nearest window. The driver is still there, crouched down beside a man who must have been directly in the path of the impact. Left arm crushed, probably shattered ribs, pelvis, likely internal damage. Miraculously, I think he's still alive. I can't tell exactly without contact, but there's no time. Anyone else? I ask. The driver shakes his head. I can't move him like this, he says. We can and we will, I say, and we need to do it now. He's got his own set of bruises, a few gashes, quite a bit of bleeding, but I'm liking this guy. Won't leave any of his charges, even in the face of almost certain death. He nods. Okay, let's get him out. You're hurt, I say. Get through the window first. I'll pass him out to you. He hesitates. He's a big guy. I got it, I say. Now move. This time he takes the cue, scrambles with difficulty out the window. While he's struggling with that, I run a hand across the forehead of my charge, sequence the repairs, get his heart going again, reknit the ribs, stabilize his breathing. Now he can be moved without killing him. The driver's out and I heave the unconscious passenger across my shoulder, feet bleeding as I pass him through the window to the waiting driver. Jump down after him. Between us, we haul him into a bakery, drop down behind the counter, and the street erupts again, the explosion rocking the floor beneath our feet, flying debris flaming over our heads and shattering the shelves, clattering into the kitchen behind. Sound of sirens at last, hopefully fire crews amongst them. I crouch there behind the counter, smile at the driver. Our lucky day, buddy, I say. So that was the start of the story, Good Day. I'd now like to give you a short excerpt from one of my audio plays. Before I do, though, let me give you a little background. What exactly do I mean by audio play? The closest thing to what I do would be one of the old radio serials that used to run back in the 1930s and 1940s, in which a cast of actors performed episodes of an audio play live on air, complete with sound effects and music. The play is therefore written as a script with action direction cues, sound effect cues, and placeholders for music if it's used. In the old days, this would have been performed live, including the sound effects, in a broadcast studio with a full production crew. My plays are performed by me. That includes all the writing, all the character voices. I use a voice-changing software package and change accents as much as possible to distinguish characters, all the mixing and editing, and even the music, which is digitally created. So it's a solo performance, pre-recorded, and then mixed using audio software to create the final work. The excerpt here is taken from the first episode of my audio play, WRAT AM 1700. This episode was written and produced in 2011. The story takes place in 2097, and there are some unusually severe storms appearing on the planet. In the future, perhaps you can see where this is going, given the way our planet's weather is changing even in 2021. It's not unusual for such storms to cause global havoc on a regular basis. The characters in the play represent the staff of a radio station of the future, WRAT, call sign AM 1700 on the dial, and they're a particularly resourceful team. In the clip you'll hear, one of the station's field reporters calls in from the scene of an island resort that is in the path of one such storm. It turns out that this particular storm is far from an ordinary one.
Happening now off the southeast coast, Hurricane Zulu 11 is battering Shelburne Island on its way to the mainland. Given its present course, it's expected to hit the landfall near Katanga, an area already devastated 4 times this summer by similar Category 5 storms. Katarina Korotkaya reports live from Ellis Bay on Shelburne Island.
Helen, Ellis Bay is so accustomed to this type of weather that the only buildings now remaining above ground are built like military bunkers. Zulu 11 is of course the 11th such Category 5 storm to sweep across this area since May. In total, 24 hurricanes have hammered this tourist destination over the past 6 months, which is why all infrastructure is now built on the ground. Resorts have sufficient warning with our advanced storm monitoring service that they can move all visitor activities to the simulated surf environment beneath the island before the winds strike. And they are well stockpiled with all needed supplies. Geothermal and tidal generators supply the island with full carbon-neutral independent power. From where I am standing in the observation tower above the Weather Monitoring Center, I can see the 10-meter waves foaming out across the surface of the island, covering most of it with water. Katanga had better batten down its hatches. Zulu 11 will be at their door in a matter of hours. From besieged Ellis Bay on...
Katerina? Are you there? Katerina? We'll continue to update you on the Shelburne Island situation as news comes in. In the meantime, here's the latest release by the Raging Bulls.
To get access to any of my work, the easiest way to do that is to take a look at my various web links, and I'll provide these for you now. Thank you.